Hello and welcome. I'm Sanon. Today I am going to look at two indexes from India, which I believe are going to help, in boosting my following on my YouTube channel. I've been asked quite a lot by people, especially from that side, to look at these two because, well, I know in India there are a lot of people, who are in the market who participate. So they said that by doing this, I can actually get, a significant boost in my following or subscribers here on YouTube. So I decided to actually work on that, today. So I'm going to look at Nifty Bank Index, starting from higher time frames, probably down to daily or forward here, as well as bank. Is it Nifty 50? Yes, it's bank and Nifty Bank as well as Nifty 50. So starting off with Nifty Bank Index, of course, you can see it's listed under NSE, which is probably a stocks exchange in India, I guess. So if you look here, we had a decline, which was the crash 2020 crash at 1920 there, probably a wave four of a significant degree, say a primary degree wave four, which was probably completing because you can see following then we have seen five waves from that 2020 low, which was established on the 16th of March. And then we had a rally, and peaked actually on the 18th of October in 2021. And if you look at the time span, from March 2020 up to um, October 2021, it's safe to assume that the wave degree which was in play was the minor degree, or as some of you know, degree 9. And then I labeled that five waves to the upside as wave 1 of the intermediate degree, and then we saw a decline, down to 32, 155 Indian rupees right there, which is marked. And then following that, we saw a rally and then again a decline. But the decline that we saw was kind of like a bit higher or failed to completely retrace this decline from the wave 5 top of wave 1 to establish wave 2. So I labeled that as wave 2 of a leading diagonal wave 1 of degree 9, which is marked red. And then we saw again a decline, almost to the level of the fourth wave of the leading diagonal, that is towards the extremity due to the guideline of depth as you know it. So I labeled that as wave 2 of degree 9. And then what happened is we saw again another five waves to the upside. I labeled that as wave 1 of degree 10 or minute degree, which is also in green. And then we saw again a bit of a complex wave 2 right there of the same degree, which is degree 10. And then following that, we saw again a push up, which is now degree 11, or as some of you may know it, sub-minute wave degree. And then a flat wave 2, which is a running flat. I labeled there right there our wave 2 at 46,077.5 Indian rupees right about there. And then we saw five ways to establish, I believe that's degree 12 or degree, I mean, that should be subminate. This one should be minate, subminate, and then minate. And then the degree that we're currently in right now, or the impulse wave that we're in, I believe it's the third wave of subminated degree, of which we expect to see right now a lot of volatility in the market. When I mean volatility, I'm saying we should see Nifty Bank Index pushing higher with an increase in volume, because if you can check from this wave too low right here, all we have been doing, we have just been extending. And you know that following moves like this in the market, we tend to see the market moving, choosing a direction, being decisive about the move. So you can see right here, there's nothing yet significant in volume. In fact, there has been a decrease from this like low right there. There's been a decrease because, well, if I can show you just clearly, you can see right there, this is like the highest volume which was recorded, which is like aligns with this one, right, this portion right here. And since then we haven't seen a volume this big. But I do think that Nifty bank index will gain momentum as like the week unfolds, because when I look at this guy right here, this move, you can see now there's a bit of a stretch compared to these consolidations here. You see, we haven't seen a move like this, in a while, because you saw it here as well as here, and then when, then there. So it's like promising, according to me, because also if you look at this channel here, which is what we know as the Kennedy base channel, we draw it by connecting, like a line from the origin of wave one, and then up to, or down in this case, to the end point of wave two, and then we draw a parallel of that, and place it at the end point or the termination point of wave one, there as you see it. And if you look at it, the way you have been trading, we have been trading towards the lower boundary of the Kennedy base channel. And then if you think about it, when the market does this, in fact, Elliott, when he spoke of his channel, the Elliott's channel, he said that when the market is trading closer to the lower boundary in the case of a bull market, what will often follow is a strong move, away from the lower boundary, and that move will often go even beyond the upper boundary in the case of a bull market. So I do expect to see a move that that will take this boundary by storm. Given that it's a base channel as well, it should happen to confirm the presence of the third wave of multiple degrees, as you can see, this one, this one, this one, as well as this one, and even this one right here. Now if you go down to the daily time frame, what you will find is that we had that wave one and wave two of the Minette wave decree, and then what happened is right there we saw again 5 waves to the upside. If I could change to the line chart, what you will see is truly that this is one, two, and then subwave one, subwave two, subwave three, subwave four, subwave five. And then if one, two, three, and then ABC, four, and then five, to prove that this is indeed 5 waves. So what happened now was I did a little bit of a crazy count here, even through the Kennedy base channel for this current rally. As you can see it, we had these 5 waves right here. I labeled that as wave one of the sub-minute degree in blue, or degree, well, Minette is degree 10. This one, Minette is like degree 11. So this is degree 12. You saw this decline, which is like wave 2 right there. Or wave A of a flat. In the case of a flat, I believe this can be wave A if you think about it. Well, it does look a little bit complex, but not so complex. But at the same time, I do want to say that, well, we might be in wave A of a flat wave two. So in that case, instead of this being wave one and then this two, and then we're currently in wave three, it will be A, B right there, as you can see, our alternate. That means if we happen to decline, as you can see in what is likely our fourth wave here, we decline and close within, this price territory, or wave four, which is this guy right here, happens to overlap with this guy and actually close within this price territory, because, well, remember that a triangle is capable of pushing down, and then what it will do is it will consolidate and close outside this price territory of of wave one. So this one is purely acceptable in the wave principle, but when we happen to close here, it's not. So I want to see the market trading above this price right here. But then if we happen to trade, well, below it, there's a possibility now that if we happen to, like, let's say, close here and then go above, that will mean it's ABC of probably a leading diagonal, which is going to be big. I mean, really, really big. But at the same time, my wave count, my primary is that we have, wave one, wave two, and then we're currently in wave three. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of wave one within wave three of the same degree. But if it's not, there should be wave two that is still unfolding. Wait, what just happened? There should be wave two that is still unfolding of the micro degree. Let's just make it in red right there. So that will mean right there, this is our wave A, right there, A, and then this is our wave B, this top right here, and then we're currently in wave C. So we should take, not only this price, but also this one, take it out. But then in the case of a running flat, there's a possibility that we might just, end up, stopping here, or else what will happen is in the case of a failed flat, that is a regular flat, well, but I believe it's more than that 105 here. So I think this is an expanded flat in this case. So that will be a push below at least this extremity to confirm that this is still our wave two instead of wave two being here. But at the moment, I want to stick to the fact that we actually have one, two, and then subwave one, subwave two, subwave three, subwave four, and then subwave five of wave one within the unfolding third wave. Why can't it be wave three right here already? Well, there's going to be an overlap quickly the moment we say this is one, two, and then we say three right there. When wave four unfolds, there's going to be that overlap between wave one right here, and you don't want to see. It's possible in the case of a contracting diagonal or even an expanding diagonal wave one, but we don't want to assume that the unfolding structure is a diagonal. We want the market to give us enough evidence. So we have broken out of the Kennedy base channel right at this point, and then we saw this voluminous or momentum of what, let me just say voluminous, move to the upside, which is, I think, it's wave one, two, and then three, and then four right there. So we should find support right about this level of the upper boundary of the Kennedy base channel, and then continue to push higher in order to establish the final wave of the first wave, which is in this case is going to be our micro, wave one, within wave three in this case, which is like it's going to be this degree. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then following this five right there, it will mean that we have wave three of the same degree as this guy. There's nothing really to this. And then let us now move to Nifty 50, of which I think it's also a bit interesting when I looked at it, because I was like, I am kind of pleased by Nifty 50. Let me just look at it. I don't know what's happening right now. It's loading, and I think I'm doing a lot of things with it. Nifty 50, Nifty 50. Sorry about this. I don't know why. Okay, let me just Nifty, and then well, there it is. I think I selected on the first one right there. So if you look here, we look at things a little bit differently now on Nifty 50. This one was not necessarily my favorite when I looked at it. Let me just push these guys right there a bit far so that you will see what I'm looking at. You can see also following, the 2020 crash, we established a low, and then we saw five waves to the upside, which you can clearly see them here, because you can see this is one, two, and then subwave one, subwave two, and then I believe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is like, well, no, that's wrong. I believe that's 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we had five waves. But you'd have to go to lower time frames to, like, to navigate this price move from this bottom up to the top right there, clearly and in a correct way of counting. But we saw wave one and wave two, which took, some time. Imagine from 2020, up to 2021, just like the move in Bank Nifty. And then I labeled that as wave one, and then wave two. If you can see right here, we had this decline, which is probably a double zigzag. When you look at it, it does resemble a double zigzag, but also it can be a simple zigzag. But I want to bet on the double zigzag scenario. And then we saw five waves to the upside, and then what looked like a flat right here. So you get to see again one of those flats whereby wave two does exceed that 1.382 that is expected as a retracement, instead, which is likely that 1.618, which is also not so rare on higher time frames in the stock market. Even the 2.618 Balan though does write about it, but I don't necessarily want to stick to it. You can see that this is indeed a flat, and most people then here might have labeled as 1, 2, and then 1, 2, but I wouldn't like that at all. But instead, I want to stick to the fact that this is one, and then kind of like a running flat wave two, and then we had our one, and then two, and then we had our one, and then three right there, and then four of like the minute degree, which is degree 10. And so I believe this is now again one, two of the unfolding degree, which is in this case degree subminate man, it's minute degree. I keep forgetting because I'm like really, really exhausted. But I know that the Indian stock market, when it opens, its people will want to look at it, the market, and look for trading opportunities, of which at the moment I don't believe we have them yet. But you can see it's wave three and then four, which is also a flat when you look at it. It's three and then four, which is probably the low that we want to maintain even on a long-term basis, because we don't want to go below it. Instead, we will use it for the upcoming fourth wave of the minor degree at some point. So at the moment, I want to stick to the fact that, well, we are in wave five of minute degree, but also wave three of this degree right here, which is minute or degree 11. And then we also saw what is likely wave one of this wave three within this wave degree right here. But at the same time, it can be one, two, and then three, four. But I wouldn't like that, because in the case of a retracement again of wave four of the same degree would have an overlap, of which that's not what we want to see. So far here on the daily, there's nothing that you can really comment on. But look at it here now. It's a bit interesting. If I change to the line chart, what you will find is that it's wave one, wave two, right there. You can see it's like three right there. You see, and then four, and then five. So that's what I had to stick with, because it's like one, two, and then three, and then wave four as a flat, and then wave five. And then we saw again an expanded flat wave two. You see one and then two, of which our one peaked at 24,854 Indian rupees, and then our wave two bottomed at 23,893 Indian rupees. So I believe we're currently on the first wave, and we're on the second wave, because we've completed the first wave right there and peaked at 26,277 Indian rupees. So we're currently in wave two, which also, as it unfolds, should not go below this price area right here, because, well, once it does, it will mean that we have a different scenario now than we actually think, and then we'll have to go back to our drawing board. But at the moment, I want the price, no matter what happens, to remain above this price right here, and then we continue to push higher, because wave two can be dangerous and will be dangerous in the case whereby we are trading against it. But I want to bet on the fact that, well, if you look at it right here, we have this zone that probably looks like a strong support in this case. Let me just change from there to this guy right here. I prefer to use this guy, the line chart, when I'm drawing support zones, because they are also good for sniper entries, by the way, for those of you who do not know. There we go. And then when we change to the candlestick patterns, what you will find is that, you see, we have like the closes only recorded, and then the highs and lows are excluded right now when we're throwing this. But you can see right here, we found support on this level following the breakout, and we went above, and then we retested and found support. So I do think that wave two will also find a bit of support within this price zone right here. Why? If you consider the guideline of depth of wave, like wave two in this case, we tend to have this strong support or resistance around the level of the fourth wave of one lower degree. So I think this is what we're going to see. But then wave two can be dangerous and will be. But if you look at the evidence right here, is the support and resistance in application, as well as the Fibonacci levels. But also, I do think that right here you can see there was a struggle in the market. So I think we should again struggle when we get here. So proof of that wave two, is in play clearly. Even to those who didn't watch the video, will be a break below this trend line. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for me today. If you have any question, you can just comment down below and I will get back to you. Have a good one.